What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Wednesday, June 26th. My name is Chris Drummond. I'm a freelance sports reporter here based out of Minnesota. I'm also a casino host and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where we talk about individuals, why they do what they do, and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's going to be coming on with me. She's Pipestone's finest. Graduated from Pipestone High School right here, Pipestone, Minnesota. Also worked as a MMJ and reporter for KTTC in Rochester, Minnesota. She's still involved with sports, working as a production assistant for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Her name is Darian Violet, and we're going to talk to her about her why of doing journalism, her transition, and also get to know her a little bit. So without any further ado, here's the talented, the wonderful Darian Violet.
Hello.
Hey, how
I'm
are you?
doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very good. I
Oh,
just want to
good.
say thank you for hopping on my podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me. It's not a problem.
Absolutely. How's your week been going so far?
It's been good. I came down with like a summer cold, so if my voice sounds weird, that's why. But I think I'm on the up and up. I woke up today feeling better. So, right direction.
Well, you look amazing. I'm gonna tell
Oh,
you that
thank
right
you.
now. No question. And you sound amazing too. You don't sound like you got a cold at all. So I
Okay.
love that. I
Okay,
love
good. I've got
it.
some tea right here and it's helping, I
I
think.
love that. I love to hear that. So before I start getting into all these questions that I got for you, let me reiterate why I wanted to have you on here. Okay. So you work with KTTC in Rochester, Minnesota as an MMJ and reporter for quite some time.
Yes.
I was a reporter at the Marshall Independent,
Yep.
which you definitely know of, covering sports. You were covering different kind of stories as well. I
Mhm.
love to know people and their journey of why they do what they do. Why
Mm,
were you a reporter? And I also would love to hear your transition as well. 'Cause I know
yeah.
you've transitioned out of that since then. I do know you also do production assistant for the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's pretty
Yeah.
damn cool. No
Yeah.
question about that. So I would love to hear about that as well. So I
Absolutely.
I know that you like sports, you like news, you like journalism, which is the same as me. So it was just a no brainer, Darian, that we should talk on this podcast episode.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot in common, similar stories. So, yeah, I'm excited. I haven't really spoken about it since I left. So, I'm excited to kind of talk about my time and reflect on everything. So,
Absolutely. And I love that. And with that, let's get into the first question I normally ask everybody on here on my podcast, which is what is your why? What is the reason why you wanted to pursue journalism? Did you have any role models growing up? Any inspirations growing up? What is your why of getting into the journalism field?
yeah, so I've always been a very bubbly, expressive type of person. Lately I've been watching some like old family videos of myself and
Hmm,
I'm always just waving hi and smiling at the camera. And if they ask me to do a song, if they ask me to do a dance, I'll do it right away. So I've always loved the camera. I've always loved being in front of the camera. And I've
sure.
also always been such a people person. Love talking with people, love connecting with them, having conversations. So that was just something I've always had about myself. Once I got into school, like high school, I started to join activities like theater, like
Mhm.
speech, the musicals, and I loved that too. I loved being in front of people, doing speeches, doing performances. Um, so that's kind of where the whole choice to go and study journalism came from. I really didn't watch the news. I wasn't really into news. But I knew that I loved presenting and I loved speaking and I loved talking with people. So it seemed like a good fit for me. So I went on and studied journalism at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities and I
Yeah.
really loved it. It was amazing. It was there where I actually really developed a passion and I started to see the value of news, why it's important that we cover stories, gives
Yeah.
voice to the voiceless, holds people accountable, and overall just a really important thing, especially on the local level. I know you know that as well. So that's kind of what led to my decision to go into news. And I worked as a reporter for 3 years in Rochester, Minnesota, and I did just about everything. And I really, really loved it. Met so many people. I covered so many incredibly amazing and incredibly heartbreaking events. And I cherish my time so much through that. About 2-ish months ago, I made the decision to leave news, and now I'm working doing marketing for a local financial in Rochester. So doing some more behind the scenes stuff.
Mhm.
But it's been an interesting transition, but it's still focused on people. It's still focused on video and writing. And that's where the foundation of my passions lie for sure.
I love that. I love that. You talked about it, right? You went to the University of Minnesota. I call you Pipestone's finest because you went to Pipestone High School as
I did.
well. You graduated from there. Talk to me. Were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to the University of Minnesota?
Oh, I mean, I was so set on going to the U. I wanted to go there since I was younger. I knew I wanted to be in a metropolitan area because I wanted to do something with TV news. And there, we don't really have a lot of stations. We have Sioux Falls that's kind of
Yeah.
near the area. Um,
Hmm.
but I wanted to stay also in state. So it was kind of no brainer. But I do remember when I was waiting to hear back from the U, I wasn't hearing back and I got like really worried. So I applied to SMSU,
Mm.
Mankato, St. Cloud, and Winona, kind of like the bigger-ish state schools. But then I heard back from the U and I was like, yep, nope, no brainer. I'm going here.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. And SMSU, for those of you that don't know,
Yes.
that's in Southwest Minnesota State University. That's where I live by, literally live by. I'm in Marshall, Minnesota. It's in Marshall, Minnesota. So it's pretty close to me for sure. I love that. On here with Darian Letty, on my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. Darian, I want to get some favorite questions in. Okay. So I got some favorite questions lined up here. And you just tell me what some of your favorite things are off the rip. Are you with me?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Yes, I do, definitely. I would say my favorite meal is any type of pasta. Red sauce,
Ooh.
white sauce, green sauce, whatever type of sauce, whatever noodle, I'm
Mm,
there for it. And I love some garlic bread too.
okay, Darren, you already won my heart. We're gonna be good friends. I'm gonna tell you that right there. The pasta
Yes.
is so good, especially ziti. I love ziti.
Oh,
So
so good.
yes, absolutely. Okay. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Oh, that's so hard. I've been to a lot of amazing ones. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. I'm going just like through my head of all of them. I guess one that sticks out to me is, do you know the artist Khalid? He was like kind of
Oh
popular
yeah,
back. Yes. Um,
absolutely.
I've seen him twice and I also met him once at the concert, like the meet and greet. So that's definitely like up there in memorable concerts and I love his music. Reminds me of like high school time, so it's very nostalgic for me as well. And I
Hmm.
went with some great friends, so I cherish that time a lot.
Definitely want to see him in concert. He is one of my favorite artists. Some of the songs that I consider some of his sleepers. He has a song called "Winter." If you
Love
ever
that
heard of that
song.
song, you love it, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
That song's so good.
Classic, classic song. He has another song that to me I really love. Um, it's featuring somebody, but it's not on his album, but it's on another album.
Oh,
Why don't you come on? Have you ever
ooh,
heard of that song?
no,
It's called Why Don't You Come On?
who is it with?
You know what? I'm gonna have to hit you up offline. I promise you, I'm gonna give you that because I think it's DCDS. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
group.
Nice.
DCDS, I believe,
Okay.
but don't quote me on that. But Khalid is one of my favorites. My
Yes.
concert would probably be Lil Wayne versus Drake. Had a chance to see that years ago.
Oh my
Prior to me
gosh.
coming up here to Minnesota,
Wow.
I was in Atlanta. I saw that. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, you can't replace that.
No, absolutely not. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
I love New York City. I went there for a
Mm.
spring break trip. I think it was my sophomore year of college, and we did kind of a whole East Coast thing. We went DC, Boston, and then New York. And New York was just amazing. Like they call it the city that never sleeps, and you see why. Everybody's
Uh-huh.
everywhere, moving everywhere. Everybody is doing something with their life, and
Mhm.
yeah, just really incredible to see. You see it in the movies, you see it growing up in media, and to actually be there was really incredible.
You know, during my first time that I went to New York City, it was movie like. Like there's people
Mhm.
bumper to bumper. There's people walking right next to you. If they
Yes,
bump into you, they just keep walking.
they don't
People
care.
told me they do not care at all. The rats at Penn Station is real. I don't know if you took the subway. You might have took Uber. You might have just walked. But I took the sub because I went to a Yankees game, and the Yankees game, if people are not from New York, is in the Bronx. So it's on 161st Street in the Bronx. So you take the subway, you go there. The rats are definitely
Oh,
real in the station, no question.
oh, thankfully I didn't see any. I knew that's a big part of New York, but we
Mhm.
mostly walk and took buses. Um, but if I
Yep,
saw that, I would probably freak out because that's one of my big fears is rats and mice.
I'm telling you. Well, only Penn Station. Everywhere
Okay.
else is good. Central Park is obviously something you probably saw when you was there. You
Oh yeah.
said DC. I'm very
Yes.
familiar with Union Station. Are you familiar with Union Station at DC? Did you get a
No.
chance to go there?
No,
So
what's
that's where
that?
all the stores are in
Oh,
Washington D.C. So a lot
cool.
of stores and stuff
There's
like that.
so much to see. We saw a lot of monuments, and we also went, it's
Yeah.
not open anymore, but we went to the museum. It's like the journalism museum. It was
Mm,
so cool. I loved that.
that's pretty awesome. Okay. Favorite now, you know I'm a sports reporter, so I gotta ask you a sports question. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to see in person? Could be the same sport.
I would say my favorite one to see in person is volleyball. Grew up playing volleyball, love
Hmm.
it. I think it's such an engaging sport. Anybody can enjoy volleyball. And on TV, just because volleyball's not really on TV that often, I would say basketball. I had so much fun watching the T-Wolves do so well this
Hmm.
season. Did end the way we wanted, but had fun regardless.
Did get a chance to see them in the regular season when they played my Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan, Darian. Please forgive me, but I come from California, so I got to rep my team. But it was
That's
a
all right.
great time. Great time. How do you feel about them, the RTR Knights winning the state championship? That was pretty
Oh,
cool in volleyball, right?
oh my gosh, highlight of my year. It was so much fun. We were at that final game against Mayor Lutheran, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just so incredible. So happy for the girls, Lakin, specifically my cousin, you know her.
I
Um,
do.
yeah, I know that Danica has been really building up that program in the last, since I've been in high school 7 years ago, even before that. And then to just see them where they went this year, it was just really incredible.
It was something for me. I had so much joy for Danica because I've had a lot of talks with her, and you
Yeah.
know that she can talk volleyball. She can talk your head off about volleyball. Lincoln is somebody who's kind of flipped it a little bit. You know, when she first started volleyball, it wasn't like her most favorite sport, but she's
Mhm.
kind of flipped it. And I call her superstar because that's what she is.
Oh,
She's just
she's
an
a stud.
incredible athlete, no question.
She's a rock
So,
star in all that she does and all her three sports that she does. She gives
mhm.
100%, and she's my role model, even though she's like 10 years younger than me.
Right, right. Tell me about it. So, yeah, shout out to those RTR Knights for winning the volleyball state championship for sure, and overcoming that dragon that the Minnesota
Oh,
Vikings were. No question
absolutely.
about
That's a
it.
legacy team right there. Even that team in that
Absolutely.
game was at the level of like the state tournament for sure.
Did you go to that? Because I went to the final. I went to the final
No,
second game. You did not? Okay. I just wanted to
no,
know. I
I
didn't know.
didn't. I bet
Okay.
the gym was just electric.
It was. It was packed, and it was unbelievable what we were watching that night because it was like a passing of the torch almost, right? It
Yeah.
was just one of those things where they got there the previous year and failed, and they learned from their mistakes, and then they overcame. So it was great. It was awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, it
Okay.
really is.
Last of the favorites. Favorite restaurant you like to eat at?
Hmm. Another good question. I would say Olive Garden. I mean, I told you pasta's my favorite meal, so I love
Hmm.
Olive Garden. Can't go wrong.
You know, Olive Garden is a great choice.
Mm.
What won me over was Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's
Oh,
is won me over because we didn't have it down there in Atlanta. Like I never knew
mhm.
what Raising Cane's was until I came up here, and it's won me over. That restaurant is just beautiful. I love it. I
It's
love their
got a
food.
big following in Minnesota and the area, but I don't like it. I'm sorry to say, I don't like
It's
it.
okay. It's okay. Listen. That means more pasta for you,
There
more
we go.
canes for me.
There
Yes,
we
that's
go.
all that matters. So we win.
Hmm.
It's a win-win situation. So I love it.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's talk about your day to day, right? let's talk about what you do as far as the marketing side. And this is a two-part question. And also talk about the transition of that decision of leaving news behind, right? Because obviously that didn't come easy. Obviously it's something that you wanted to do in your heart, but talk about now what you do for your day-to-day job for marketing as well.
Yeah. So my day starts, I get into work at 8 a.m. That's a bit different from when I would go get into work at news. I was working the morning show then, and I was getting in at like 4 a.m. And if
Wow.
I was filling in, I would sometimes have to get in at 2 a.m. So it
Mm,
was really, really early. Most people, it's the middle of the night for them when I would be getting to work. So that's definitely been nice to have that
right.
room to sleep in the day and all of that. And then usually I just get to my desk, check my emails, drink my coffee, catch up with my coworkers, see what's going on for the day. Versus at news, it was kind of like get right to it. You got to get there's the story going on. There's you got to get this written. We go on in
Right.
half an hour. So the pace is definitely a lot faster in news, which
Sure.
yeah, has been something that I've definitely had to adjust to.
Mm,
That we're not always go go go. Sometimes it's things take a bit longer.
sure.
So that's been different too. And then I usually just look at what I have for my assignments today. So I do a lot of writing. So a lot of the marketing stuff that goes out that's written, a lot of times I'm doing that writing. So
Okay.
I'm working on copy, I'm editing, all of that. And also another part of my job is I get to do video, which is really great because that's definitely a big thing that I've developed in the over the past few years in news.
Hmm.
So I'm also working on scripts. I'm editing. I'm setting up shoots. I'm taking video. So that's actually still very similar from what I was doing in news. And then I get off for the day around 5 o'clock. It's a little bit later because when I was working the morning show, I would get off around 1. And then I'd have to go to bed around 7 p.m., of course, because I
Right.
want to wake up really early.
Right.
And now I have a little more time in my days to go see friends, to I go play volleyball one time a week.
Okay.
Hang out with my boyfriend and his family. And so I have a bit more of some free time too, which is really nice to kind of have that work life balance. It's been a welcome change.
Absolutely. No, that's great. I'd love for you to explain that. This is a great follow-up question, and that's what advice would you give someone that wants to enter into a news journalist kind of role? Right now, you just explained yourself of that particular time of getting up maybe at 2 or starting at 4, getting off at 1, right? Because news is not traditional hours more times than not, right? Like when I was at the Independent, I worked from 2 to 11 or
Yeah.
3 to 12 or one of those times, right? Because sports is nights and
Yep.
weekends, right? So
Mhm.
when you're getting up in the morning, people are sleeping. When I'm getting off, people are sleeping. So, what
Yep.
advice would you give to somebody that wants to join the industry of journalism?
Yeah, well, I definitely think, like you said, be prepared to maybe not have the most traditional schedule, like maybe some of your other friends with office jobs. You're gonna either have to like get up really earlier, or you're gonna have to stay at work really late, or you're gonna have to work this holiday and this holiday. That just comes with it because news doesn't stop,
Right.
and there's always something happening. Um, but I also don't want to defer people from it because I had such an incredible experience. I
Absolutely.
think I'm so grateful that I did it because I think it really put my name out in the community, really got my network built bigger.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was able to meet so many amazing people through it, which is what it's all about, is you meet some really incredible people. Yeah, but if a cub reporter is watching this and they're looking for some advice, yeah, just be prepared. Time management is everything. Always be thinking a few steps ahead
Sure.
with your story and what you want to get. Build those connections, foster those relationships with people in your community.
Mhm.
You want to have somebody that you can call if you need information and time's on a crunch. um and yeah, don't if you make you're going to make mistakes, and when you do make
Mhm.
mistakes, don't be so hard on yourself. I think that's that's a good part of starting out in a small market, is you kind of have that room to make mistakes, versus if you were on a big level like New York, Los Angeles, you can't really make mistakes. But yeah, I've made so many mistakes in my career. um but you can't let it get you down. You just got to shake it off. Got the next story the next day. That's the good thing about it, is just kind
Sure.
of stories put to rest at the end of the day. um and yeah, I would say those are kind of my main advice points.
No, those are great advice points. Maybe even to piggyback off that, this job is for the love of journalism. Like
Yeah.
I love the storytell, and I
Mhm.
love people. Like you said, I love talking to people. I love talking to these amazing athletes that are high schoolers, collegiate athletes. I love talking to them, and I love seeing what they do. Right, because it's almost nostalgic for me because it takes me back to when I played in high school.
Mhm.
And it takes me back to that camaraderie and just all those values that you learn about team, especially with me in sports. I can only imagine some of the news stories that you did that was some really good news stories, fluff stories, that people in the community there in Rochester would stop you on the street and say, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much," and congratulate you when you're pumping gas or you're in a grocery store or something like that, because they do that here, which is amazing. But we also got to tell the B side, right? And the B side is sometimes it's not conventional hours. Sometimes you do have those hard news stories, which
Mhm.
leads me into this question, Darian. Did you ever take hard news stories home with you after you did those? Or how hard was it for you to separate hard news stories? Because that's also some advice you could possibly give to somebody who may be interested into doing news.
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, how can you not? It's something that you're putting so much of your thoughts and feelings towards for so the a chunk of your day. How can you go home and forget about it? That's
Right,
really tough to do. I've had
right.
really difficult conversations, mothers who have lost their children, siblings who have lost one another, just really difficult conversations to have. And they weigh on you. As much as we try to say that we are unbiased and we don't let
Yep,
stories sway us. I mean, you're human at the end of the day, and you have a heart, and you're going to empathize with that person. So
absolutely.
it's definitely a big load to bear. I mean, I don't think many people in other jobs hear those types of things every day and then are kind of expected to act normal. Um, but I just think talking with your coworkers is something that really helped me. Somebody, they understand exactly what you're going through. They've done
Yep.
stories like that. Maybe they're working on the same story in a different angle, but just kind of talk to them and lean on them. They're the ones who can empathize with you about what you're going through. So I really leaned on my coworkers during those difficult times, and just to kind of the end of the day, just kind of debrief for a few minutes and just
Hmm.
talk about how you're feeling. And it really helps. It really helps. So find that one coworker that you feel like you can talk to, and lean on them during those times.
I like that. Mental health. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Mental health and like work life balance, right? You talked about it a little bit earlier with your work life balance, right? You have family, friends, boyfriend. You're now working pretty much at 8 to 5. So you're in a better schedule to where it's more consistent, right? Because sometimes news can be consistent because you're working, even though you're working those times, you may have to work longer hours because of breaking news and different things like that. How do you keep your mental health strong and also still try to have that work life balance? I know it's probably better now, but how was it then and how is it now?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think I really just got burnt out on news. And that's something I feel like a lot of journalists are talking about, just because what
Sure.
we're just talking about, the hard emotional stories like that. And on top of that, you're working long hours, you're dealing with staffing shortages, you're dealing with breaking news, you're not getting off at the time that you thought you're going to this. And that can really weigh on a person.
Yep.
And I wasn't really seeing that work life balance, because I would go home and I would either be thinking about my story from the day because it was really difficult. I would be
Yep.
thinking about what am I going to do tomorrow because I need to be thinking ahead, and all of this. Or you're not even home yet, you're still working because something happened and you had to go to it. Um,
Sure.
and so it just became really difficult to even have a sort of life outside of work. I couldn't go for happy hours with friends. I had to go to bed. I couldn't play on a
Mm,
volleyball team because I had to, go to sleep, or I was working on that day. And I worked weekends too. So I missed a lot of family and
sure,
friend things. And
sure.
I just kind of got to a point where it didn't seem worth it to me to miss out on those things, to be burnt out, to not have enough energy. It was just really weighing on me. And that's what ultimately led to my decision to do a more traditional 9 to 5 job, office job. And yeah, my mental health has been a lot better. I just feel like I have more time to breathe. I have more time to do things that fulfill me. I just started tutoring at the library, helping kids learn
Oh,
to read and write. So that's been
okay.
really fulfilling for myself, and not something I really had the time nor emotional power to do when I was in news. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm like going on vacations, and I'm traveling, and I'm seeing friends, and that's just helped me so much. And I know some people, they're about that grind. They're about working and always doing that for themselves. And I love that for them. I think that's incredible. For me though, I place a higher value in my life, my friends, my family, the things that enrich my life,
Sure.
outside of a career. I had to learn that like a career isn't the only thing that can fulfill you through life. Life can fulfill
Agreed.
you through it.
No, you agreed. Totally. On here again with Darian Letty on my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. I love what you just said, and I want to touch up on that before I get to this bonus question I got for you. But and the reason why I want to touch up on is you made a business decision that would, like you said, enrich your life. And you knew you had to make that decision. Sometimes that decision, like I said, is not as easy to make because we love what we passionately love. Like we love the storytell, we love people, but you have to weigh the pros and the cons, and they're different for everybody. Again, we, as in you and I, are not discouraging people from this industry. That's not what we're doing. However, you have to know the A side, you have to know the B side. And that's the one thing I love doing about this podcast, especially talking with other reporters. People don't know this B side a whole lot
Mhm.
because what they do is they see you on TV, doing your thing, reporting in front of the camera, giving them the 411, right? What's going on in the community. But they don't understand that you got to get up sometimes at 2 in the morning. They don't understand that you got to be able to stay sometimes late extra days or work on scripts, edit stuff, try to get a couple stories done, right? And I don't know if you was a one-man band. I don't know if you had a photog,
Yeah,
right?
I was
So
most of the time. I had a photographer sometimes, but most of the time on my own.
right. So people don't know one-man bands means you have to set it up, you have to edit, shoot, write, do everything yourself. And mind you, sometimes you're going into areas that you have no idea what this area is like at all. So it's like, okay, like you're going into a foreign area, you don't know what could happen. You're probably by yourself.
Mhm.
So this is why I've had this platform here, is to be able to talk to people who are involved with sports, involved with reporting, because people need to know. Weigh everything into your life and then make that business decision. Again, I love journalism. I love it to the core. I love writing. I love talking about it. I'm happy I'm in a freelance state right now.
For
I am.
sure.
No question about it. Not so much the time for me as far as time goes, but it was definitely so much of finance. Because again, financial is also something that people need to know about when it comes to journalism. It's just not always going to be at the top. Like you said, you have to go through different markets and different cities and kind of build your way up.
Yeah, it's not the glitz and glam that people make it seem like. We're out there, we're grinding, we're carrying heavy cameras, we're getting the
Mm-hmm.
story, we're going
Mm-hmm.
all over the place in any sort of terrain, rain, shine, snow.
Yep. Yep.
It's all of that. And but the audience only just sees you on the camera and the finished product.
Right.
But there's a lot of work that goes into that. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's not a very lucrative business. News is not, unfortunately, however important it is, and I do value it. It's
Sure.
just not there. So there's a lot of cub reporters who struggle for that. And like you said, we're not trying to dissuade. I want people to be prepared and know what they may be going into, because I really didn't know. I was like the audience, and I saw the end product and all of that, and I'm like, oh wait, we got to work on Christmas, and I gotta
Right.
go in the middle of this snowstorm. So
Right.
yeah. It's not a job for the week, not at all.
Absolutely. Now, this bonus question that I have for you was about musicals because I'm a huge musical buff.
Love it.
I love musicals. I've acted in two in high school, which was Les Miserables and High School Musical. I want to know, what is your top three musicals?
Love it. I also love those two
Mhm,
musicals. That's amazing.
mhm.
Okay, so I would say Grease has got to be up there. Grease is
Yeah,
like my mom's favorite
pretty
movie,
good.
so she showed it to me at a young age, and we also performed Grease in high school. I played the cheerleader.
Oh, okay.
So love
Okay.
that one. I
Yeah.
also love Legally Blonde, the musical. I loved the movie. I love the musical even
Mm.
more. Love the song. It's really great if you have not seen it. And then for my last one, I mean, I gotta go High School Musical. Like, come on now. That's my childhood right there. It
Hmm.
makes me feel so nostalgic. Um, love the music. Um, yeah, can't I didn't never got the pleasure of doing the show though. I would have loved to.
Yeah, I was Corbin Blue's
There
character
we
in the
go.
musical. So yeah,
Chad.
I was there. Yeah, I was Tad. I was Tad.
There we
No question.
go.
It was
Love
great.
it.
It was amazing. I
Oh
loved it.
yeah.
Les Miserables was an accident, to be honest with you. They told me about the French Revolution. I was like, what the hell is that? I don't even know what
Right.
the French Revolution is. But
No.
my a friend of mine pulled me to the side and said, hey, can you act in this because you can sing a little bit?
Ah.
And they gave me the Drink With Me solo, if you know
Oh
about the
wow.
solo Drink With Me, right? So I was like, okay, I guess I'll do it because, you know, at the time there was some extra motivation in there. There was some people in there that I kind of wanted to impress.
Well,
So
of
that's
course.
what it was in high school, right? So
Mhm.
there you go. Now, my top three, before I move to this next question, is Wicked, no
Love
question.
it. New
Uh,
movie coming soon. So excited.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Wicked is one. Hamilton is another one.
Well, of course.
Um, gotta love Hamilton. Lin
Oh yeah.
Manuel was
Genius.
excellent. He was excellent in that.
Hmm.
My last one is Hairspray.
Oh my gosh, I
Hairspray.
love Hairspray. How did I forget about Hairspray? Though
Hair-
that's also up there for me. I love Hairspray.
yes, Good Morning Baltimore is something
Uh,
that's classic. No question about it.
right
Okay,
when it
I'm with
comes
you.
on, I'm like, I'm gonna have a good time watching this. This is
Absolutely, right? You and me both, Darren. You and me both.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we've reached the portion of the podcast episode where now we are doing this or that. So what that is,
Okay.
I throw out two things at you, and
Okay.
you get to choose one or the other. Are you with me?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. This is going to solidify our friendship, Darian. Okay, Popeyes or KFC?
Oh, I gotta go Popeyes for sure.
And I got to say, we're going to be best friends.
That's
That's what
right.
I'm going to say.
That's
Okay,
right.
there's no other choice outside of Popeyes or KFC. Well, maybe hold on, maybe Chick-fil-A, but
Oh,
that
that's
wasn't
good
an
too.
option.
Right.
Popeyes or KFC was the option. So there we go.
Mm.
Okay, this next one: chicken wing flavors, barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper. I'm not a huge barbecue fan, so I would
Okay,
go lemon pepper.
okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Um, I would say somewhere in between, probably leaning more towards wet.
Okay, bone in or boneless?
Boneless, definitely the glorified chicken nugget
Okay, I'm
for
with you
sure.
on that. I'm with you on that. I like to get a little messy, but I also like to eat my nuggets with a fork. Or so
Yes,
sorry, wings with a fork. I
yes.
should say. Okay, I'm with you on that. Okay, these next four questions have to do with music concerts you rather attend.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Which music concert would you rather attend, Morgan Wallen or Luke Combs?
Luke Combs, I love his music and his voice is just incredible.
Absolutely, I'm a fan of both of them, no doubt about it. Okay, here we go. Which concert would you rather attend? Would you rather see Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Oh, you're asking me to weigh in on the beef, and I know like nothing about the beef, which is hard. Okay, this is not me siding on the beef. I don't know
No,
much
just
about
the
it.
music. Just
Just
the
the
music.
music.
Hmm.
I gotta go Drake. I like
Okay.
all of his songs. It's also very nostalgic for me. I think it'd be a good time.
Okay. You can't go wrong with either artist in my mind.
Yes.
Both artists are pretty good. Here we go. Which artist would you rather go see in person? Would you rather go see Post Malone or Lil Wayne?
Mm. Probably Post Malone. I know more of his songs, and I just like really love his kind of like goofy personality. I feel like he would have a really fun stage presence.
Absolutely. Yeah. Posty, I love Post Malone. Got a chance to see him last September. So
Oh,
he
love
was
it.
great. No question. Last one of the music. Which one would you rather see in person? Would you rather see Casey Musgraves or Carrie Underwood?
Casey Musgraves for sure. I'm a huge fan of her, all of her music. I think she has an incredible voice. It would be a dream to see her.
So I'll be completely transparent with you on a couple things that you said. I have not heard one Casey Musgraves song.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
have
You've got to
not.
dive in. You've got to dive in. You've got to hear Space Cowboy. You've
Okay.
got to hear Justified.
Okay.
You got to hear Deeper Well. There are so
Okay.
many good songs.
Okay. Now listen, put a list together for me, and
Okay.
then I will run it down on
Okay.
Spotify, and I would definitely do that. Now I've also never had coffee. I heard you drink coffee in the morning, but I never had coffee.
You've never had coffee?
Never. No.
Do you have like any sort of caffeine, energy drinks, or is that more your
Apple juice.
okay, but like where do you find your energy in the morning? Because I have coffee. I don't think I'd be able to get out of bed.
You know, I'm a natural person when it comes to
Wow.
that. I drink apple juice and water. I don't really drink sodas in the morning.
Yeah.
More if I do drink a soda, it's towards the afternoon and
Sure.
evening
A
time.
little
And
extra, keep you going.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. So I'm really apple juice, orange juice, water in the morning. Maybe grape juice if I have it, but I mainly love apple juice.
Okay. Well, if you want to get into coffee, it's definitely an acquired taste, I feel like. Like I drink black coffee, but a lot of people find that disgusting. It's definitely something
Mhm.
you got to work your way up to. Start with like a cappuccino. It's got like milk in it and you can have like chocolate in it and it's good. It's a good place to start, I feel like. But I also don't want you to be like hooked on caffeine like I do. So
Now, how
maybe
many cups do you have a day?
I usually have one lately
Oh,
because
okay.
I've been dealing with my sickness. I've been having like two a day, but it can be a lot. I could feel definitely like I don't sleep as well at night if I drink two. So I usually
I
just stick
feel.
to like 1 cup of black coffee a day.
Okay, okay. Here we go. More of this or that. Basketball or baseball?
Basketball,
Okay. Football or softball?
softball.
Okay. Do you like dessert?
Oh yeah, it's my favorite meal of the day.
I love it. I love it. We can rock with it. I'm gonna give you 4 categories of desserts. You have to choose one of them you'll never eat again. So here we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Candy is the first one. So that's any candy, chocolate or gelatin. Second one is cake, any type of cake. Third one is ice cream. The last one is cookies. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
This is easy. I have to go cake. I do not like cake. I do not have it at birthday parties. I do not have it at weddings.
Oh, Darian. Oh,
I
Darian.
know. I know. But I love like cookie candy and ice cream. So I can't give those up. Absolutely not. It would be
I
hard to
feel it.
not have cheesecake because I do like cheesecake. Um, but yeah, like the regular sheet cake, I'm not a big fan.
I feel it. I'm a huge red velvet person, so a red velvet cake is something that I absolutely love and adore. I would probably get rid of the candy because I don't really eat much chocolate. Although Hershey's cookies and cream, that bar,
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
mwah, that bar is so good.
Having some cookies for the road trip or at the movies, like think
It's pretty good too.
you would be able to have that. That would be tough.
That would be tough. Okay, are you a potato chip person?
Yes.
Okay, so same format.
Okay.
Four, you got to get rid of one. So here we go. First one is Doritos.
Okay.
The second one is Ruffles. The third one is Lay's. The last one is Pringles. Which one are you getting rid of?
This is hard because I love all four of them, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to go with Doritos just because when I eat them, I eat so many. So it'd probably like it's a decision for my health because those are addicting. Seriously.
Wow. Wow. You threw Doritos out there. Oh
I
man.
know. It's bold.
Okay.
It's bold,
That
but I
that
love the
there
other
you
ones.
go. Well, so I would have thrown out the Lay's for sure.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I get it. It's like
that-
plain, like not much to them.
Right. And okay, but let me also ask you, are you a salt and vinegar person? Do you like those
Yeah.
chips? No,
Yes.
I figured that. Okay.
Yeah.
I figured that. All
Hmm.
right. Most people that I give those different categories to that don't choose Lay's
Yeah.
love salt and vinegar chips.
Right. Yes, because I feel like they're like similar in a way. I
Mm,
feel like it's just like Lay's, but then they have the vinegar. So that's why I like them.
okay. So two more of the this or that.
Okay.
Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Ooh, honestly, probably bowling. I really like to bowl. I haven't done it in a while. Um,
Oh,
but I took a class in college and I feel like I got some like good advice to where now when I play, I feel like I can compete up there if I'm having a good day.
okay. We're going to test that theory when I'm in the cities next time. Okay.
Yes.
I would love that. No
Yes,
doubt.
that'd be fun.
That'd be pretty dope.
Yes.
Okay. Last one of the this or that. Which team are you picking of the three? Minnesota Timberwolves, Minnesota Twins, or Minnesota Wild? Which one are you picking?
Easy. The Timberwolves.
Got you. I
Yes.
love it.
I work for them. I've followed them very closely. I like a lot of their players. And I like basketball. So hands down.
See, and that's how I know we definitely can be friends because basketball is my favorite sport. No question
Mhm.
about that. Speaking
It's
of
the
that,
best.
um, how did you get hooked up with the Minnesota Timberwolves as a production assistant? And what do you do for them? And what do you think about this past season of them making it all the way to the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, so in college, I think it was my junior year, I got a job working for Gopher Sports at the University of Minnesota as a production assistant there. So I was working for all of the kind of sports. Primarily, I did a lot of hockey games on Friday and Saturday nights. I would be running the big screen, but I did everything. I did swimming, gymnastics, few football games, soccer. Anything of that sort. So it was a very tight knit group, all of us. And one of my bosses actually gave my name to the Timberwolves and asked if I would be interested in going to the Target Center to do the Timberwolves and the Lynx. So after a few months at Go for Sports, I would also go and work a few nights at the Timberwolves, and I would kind of do the same thing. I would run the big screen. So any sort of graphic that you see come up on there, whether it's like flex cam, get up and move cam, any
Oh,
sort of
really?
thing. Yeah, usually I'm triggering that from
Okay.
we work in like the depths way deep down in the Target Center.
Hmm.
But I loved it and I really started to love the team. I think it was like 2020, 2019. Sometime in there I started when the Wolves were bad. Like we were not good then.
Yeah.
I've been with them since they've been not the best. So
Right.
this season
Right.
once it turned around, it was just so satisfying to see like a team that I saw like rebuilding through all these years just perform so amazingly. Um, and get all this recognition and make it so far in the playoffs. I didn't work any games because it kind of got to the point where I was only working like once I moved out of the Twin Cities, I would only work like once in a while. So my familiarity with the program that we use like wasn't the best. So I'm like, I'll leave it to the professionals to run it for these
Sure.
big playoff games. And I'm
Sure.
just gonna enjoy it and watch it as an audience member because that's fun too. So yeah, I had a blast watching them. Beating Denver was so incredible to
That was
see
crazy.
that. Just so happy for them. Didn't end the way we wanted. I would have loved to see them in the finals because I'm a Wolves fan. My younger brother is a Celtics fan, so that sibling rivalry would just have like come out even more.
Sure.
But I'm happy for the Celtics. I'm happy it went that way because I definitely didn't want the Mavs to win after what happened in our series.
Absolutely. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you were what, five when the last time that the Wolves went to the Western
Yeah.
Conference Finals,
Oh
which
yeah.
was in '04. And
In a
not to
minute.
mention, yeah, it's been a hot minute, right? But
Mm,
to see them successfully go there, beat the defending champions on their home floor, and win three times on their
yeah.
home floor in that series, that
Yes.
was crazy.
It was.
Because they were down by 20 in the halftime. They
Mhm.
were down by 20 and they came back and won. So it was almost a shocker. That almost
Oh
was
yeah.
like they kind of exhaled and like, okay, you know what, we're in the Western Conference Finals,
Yeah.
playing against the Mavs. They didn't get swept, which was good.
No, I'm thankful for that.
This is good. They didn't get swept,
Mhm.
but you know what? They're a young team. They're going to come back. They're going to add some pieces, and I'm looking forward to going to some basketball games this upcoming season for
Oh, me too.
sure.
They're
No
a fun
question
team to
about that.
watch. We try to make it fun at the Target Center. So definitely come out and watch because there's t-shirts, there's dancing, and a lot of cheering. So
I love that. I love that. Now, if Darian wasn't involved in journalism or marketing, what career would she have pursued and why?
hmm. I definitely feel like in another life I was a librarian. Like that's also another part of me is I love reading. I also studied English in college. I did like a double major.
Okay.
And I love the library. I volunteer there. I love all that it has to offer, and I love books. I love recommending books. Um, so yeah, I mean, like that's definitely like a path that's open for me at this point. But yeah, I just love books and being around them every day would be really cool.
I certainly wouldn't mind walking in a library, checking out a library book from you. That's for sure. Or asking you
Yeah.
questions about what's interesting books to read. So
Oh
I
yeah.
totally do that. That would be absolutely amazing if you ever
Yes.
did that. For
Yeah,
sure.
no, that would be fun. I think I'd like it.
What is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to? Now, this could be life advice. This could be journalism advice. It can be any kind of advice. But you talked about giving advice before about entering that journalism field. But what is some advice that you hold on dearly to?
Hmm. When I was really young and um I would say some girls were saying some not so nice things about me and to me in high school. I was talking to my mom about it, and she says, Darian, consider the source, consider who is saying these things. Is it somebody that you really like care about their opinion, or somebody that you think like holds a lot of weight into like who you are? If not, then it shouldn't matter to you. And that's something that I definitely had to take into consideration when going into journalism,
Mhm.
because when your face and your presence are out there, a lot of people think that they can just like say things about you and about your appearance. um, I definitely got a lot of emails throughout my career of people commenting on what I'm wearing or what my hair
I'm
looks
sure.
like
I'm
or what
sure.
my makeup looks like. It's something a lot of female journalists unfortunately have to go through.
Yeah.
um, and it comes from everybody. It comes from guys, it comes from girls. For some reason, people just, they think that they have can say something about your appearance.
Mhm.
And I just kind of, it stings to like read things about yourself. And but you just have to consider where it's coming from. This is somebody who is hiding behind a screen, who is too much of a coward to show themselves. They would never say this to you in person. um,
Never.
yeah, exactly. So just consider that and take that into account. um and be like, okay, I really don't care what this person thinks of me if they can't even show who they are through it. um yeah, definitely got to develop a tough skin
Oh
uh
yeah. Oh
to
yeah.
get through this, I feel like, especially as women journalists.
Oh, no question about it. I've had plenty of women journalists on here, some male reporters as well that have talked about the same thing. You know, they'll
Mhm.
get emails. Oh well, why are you wearing this again? Why is
Yeah.
your hair like this? Are you wearing the same outfit, dude? Like, I mean, but are you paying attention to exactly what I'm saying instead of how I look?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
are you
that's
paying attention
also
to
where it gets lost. I'm like, this, for you to care about this story, it shouldn't matter what I look like. Like, if you really, really care about your community, and it shouldn't matter.
Right.
As long as I
It
look
ain't like you going up there just, putting on a shirt with stains on it, your hair going in five different
exactly.
directions.
Yeah.
You're not doing that, right? So
Yeah.
it's one of those things that you, like you said, you definitely have to pay attention to, block out the noise. That's great advice that your mom gave. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if self-love is the most important love, right? Because you
Exactly.
can't love anybody else unless you love yourself.
Exactly.
Um, and it's tough to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Especially when you hear things from other people, you start
Right.
having self-doubt. Wait, am I really, not uh, a good journalist? Am I really not presenting myself in a good way? But at the end of the day, you got to build up that self-confidence within yourself, and also just build that core circle of good people, and if your friends and your family are supporting you and your
Yep,
decisions and what you do, like
yep.
that's all that should matter to you at the end of the day.
Your day ones, your support
Mhm.
system, like you said, absolutely. I want to do some rapid fire before I get you up out of here. Rapid
Okay.
fire questions. So first thing that comes to your mind, okay, based upon the questions. All right,
Okay.
here we go. Favorite color?
Blue.
Looks good on you too.
Thank
Looks
you.
good. You're very welcome. Favorite TV show?
um it's the show called Hacks on HBO Max. It's really good.
Okay, okay. Favorite board game?
Board game. Probably just checkers.
Okay, I'm horrible at checkers, by the way. Horrible. Um, Favorite card game?
Uno.
Okay, got you. If you had three albums that you can listen to with no skips, what would those three albums be?
Anti by Rihanna.
Ooh,
Uh, Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. You gotta
okay.
listen.
Okay,
And I gotta throw a Taylor Swift in there. Probably Red by Taylor Swift.
okay. I'm a huge 1989 guy. Huge
Love it.
1989. I
Love
love
it.
that. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, if you had three people to take on a vacation to wherever you wanted to go, who would those three people be that you would bring?
Oh, I would probably bring my boyfriend, my mom, and my grandma, and we would go to some sort of like really beautiful beach town with like somewhere to lay out and like good restaurants and um yeah. Well, we all get along, the four of us, so that would be a good crew, I think.
I love it. What sport that you play that you absolutely dominate in?
Oh, volleyball, for sure. I want
Okay,
anybody to take me on in my sand volleyball league. Like, we're coming out
okay.
number one. So,
I can feel the competitiveness through through the screen. I feel
yes.
it. I love. Now, are you a striker? Are you a libero? Are you a setter? What are you?
I played front row in high school. But we kind of play all around in sand volleyball, and I'm actually liking like the back row sort of libero sort of thing. And we set too, so we kind of do it all. But primarily I was up front hitting.
I don't think I want to receive a spike from you at all. I think I'm good. Um, what is a sport that you play that you are absolutely terrible in?
Oh, like every other one. I would say football. Like whenever like my cousins and I like would throw around the football, I just like could not figure it out. Not great.
Got
And
you.
golf. I'm also horrible at golf. I tried learning golf recently and it did not
Mm,
go well. It's hard and very uncomfortable to swing. I don't get why people do it.
get it. I get it. Here we go. A few more. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles. Had one this morning.
Hamburgers or tacos?
Oh, tacos.
Okay. Donuts or pound cake?
What's pound cake?
Oh no. Oh, oh, Darian.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Is it just like a cake?
It's like one of those golden cakes. Like you ever heard of the
Um,
brand Edamans? Edamans was in the white box, white and blue boxes when you go to
yes.
the stores. So
Yes.
Edaman has pound cake. It's like a
Oh.
golden light. I don't want to say brown, but it's golden
Uh-huh.
like yellow cake, and
Ooh.
it's a pound cake.
Okay. Well, considering I'm not a cake fan, I'm gonna have to go donuts.
Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. Listen, when I come up in the cities, I'm gonna show you what pound cake
I'm gonna
is.
try some. I'm gonna try some. I'll let you know my
Okay, please
review.
do. Please do. Okay, here we go. Last two.
Okay.
Baseball or hockey?
Um, mm, I gotta go hockey, even though I don't know anything about it. My boyfriend really loves it, and I gotta support him through that. I'm starting to learn more about it though.
Okay, shout out to your boyfriend and shout out
Yes.
for you being a supporter. No doubt
Oh
about it.
yeah.
Yeah, stand by
Yeah.
your man. I love that. I love it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
last but not least, okay, this is a music one, a
Okay.
hypothetical one, okay? Hypothetical. If you had a choice to go listen to one of these artists, which one would you listen to? Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson. He just has so many hits, incredible voice. Even though Prince is a Minnesota legend and I love him,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson has just got all of the hits, and I think it would be so cool to see those.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we conclude this interview?
No, I just appreciate you thinking of me and having me talk about this. It's something that I haven't really talked about with a lot of people yet, but it was so great to be able to talk about our similar experiences and offer some advice and answer some fun questions. So thank you so much for having me.
No question about it, Darian. You take care and you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday afternoon. You and I will definitely be in touch.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.